turn on. Now, this is actually our final basic tutorial video, meaning I'm actually going to be going into tomorrow is either going to be one of the bigger unit reviews, such as like the heavy gun or something, or to actual strategies, like specific strategies. Like I've seen people perform on me, or I've performed on people. So, let's get this done. Now you're probably thinking of the name AA gun versus mortar tower. Why those two? I mean, I can understand MG nest versus sniper tower, but those two have nothing in common. Actually, there is one thing they have in common. They are both supportive defensive structures, which means they don't affect the battle as much as the sniper towers MG nests do. However, they both have their part in this. And I have both, and I have 3 of each in my basic set. I like to balance it out. But if I were to buy another one, I'm going to analyze both of them and try and help you which one you would buy. Now, again, remember the question, what do these have in common? Again, like I said, they're both supportive defensive structures, which means they don't necessarily affect the battle by, I don't know, a sniper bullet or something like that, something that made just killing a guy. No, they affect it more supportively, more in the background. Well, the MG nest and the sniper towers are your first line defense. These are, I guess, your second line of defense. So that being said, we all know what the mortar tower does, or mortar. I mean, I call it the mortar tower, but anyways, we all know what it does. What it does is, the more you upgrade it, the more cannons it gets onto it. The highest level for it is level 13. The mortars they drop are randomly generated where they drop in an area of influence, which is this dotted line, which you cannot see because of how much blue there is. But that is how it works. See, that's the dotted line. The mortars can drop within that dotted line. A lot of times people will use this to blow up red barrels that are in a tight confined spot. So that could actually be very deadly. The mortars themselves don't do a lot of damage. Especially if it's just splash damage. If they can do a direct hit, they can actually kill a couple of your weaker men. But that's pretty much it. They're not really a high level if there's no red barrels. So, anyways, that's the basics of the mortar cannon. Is that just shoots mortars randomly in the field, doesn't do a lot of damage. So, anyways, then there's the AA gun. AA gun, which is, as we know, it shoots down any specialists that are in the air. Missiles such the carbon bomb, napalm, or firebomb. And the most important one that's really annoying during CPU not CPU delays, is paratroopers, because they just keep coming. Once your highest level for your AA gun, like right here, is level 13. And it is pretty amazing. It has 4 cannons on it, however it is expensive. It's amazing I have 3 of them. Anyways, the mortar tower is actually pretty cheap to upgrade, but the AA gun gets real expensive actually after, like, once you reach double cannons, it starts to get expensive. So anyway, then we both know they have their own supportive parts. This protects the airspace in this area of influence. This randomly generates and will bombard the ground until destroyed, and when anyone's near it. So, that being said, they both are worth different build points, which is more expensive. Yeah, I thought the AA gun would have been. Anyway, now that was the basic analysis. Let's go think about this a little more further. Now, CPU. Now let's go into this via the CPU defend or the waves. CPUs typically follow a pattern. If there's an opening in the wall, they'll go for it. That being said, so you can easily funnel a CPU. So the mortar tower actually could help if you have a pretty good funnel setup. But if you don't, the mortar tower could, honestly, with my strategy, I don't have a funnel, and the mortar tower does get quite a few good hits on the enemies, killing a couple of them, weakening a lot of them. It's pretty good. Especially I have 2 giant mortar cannons at the front line, really helps. Anyway, so now that does help a lot during CPU defend, It doesn't kill them, it weakens them for your men and your machine gun turrets. But I don't know if I would get another one before I would get another AA gun. And personally, I would rather get another AA gun before another mortar tower. Let me just explain why. The AA gun their most annoying thing in CPU defense or the waves are paratroopers. I mean, missiles and firebombs kill your men a lot, but most of the time your men are out on the front lines where your AA gun can't get them. It's paratroopers you gotta worry about. Paratroopers constantly come in the higher rounds, and they don't just come once, but they come constantly. It's paratrooper after paratrooper, and they're not part of the grand total. They get added on to the grand total. Being able to stop that is truly an advantage to your part that you want. Even on going against a human, stopping a carpet bomb, stopping a missile, stopping, I guess, paratroopers. It just all helps. Mortars are random guessing checks. Even though you have mine, I have 2 of them that are fully upgraded with about 8 cannons on. They can still miss. I mean, they're not and they don't even deal that much damage if they do hit someone. I really wish it dealt a little more damage, but hey. Anyway, now personally, I like the AA gun. Now let's go into this a little deeper and let's figure this out. So, the AA gun, again, protects your airspace and your base from specialists, but only in a given area of influence, such as this area. I wish this area was bigger, but it's not for me. You can increase your area of influence if you have the command card Techonometral Control or something like that. It has a picture of an AA gun on it. You can increase the radius by 10% if you have that. That's one of the best command cards in the game, and I really hope one of you guys gets it, because God knows I'm not getting it. Anyways, and the mortar tower, the AA gun, and they have a different area of influence. Like, this one has more of a straight area of influence going downwards because it's a mortar cannon facing one given direction. The AA gun faces all directions, giving it a wider area of influence, allowing you to protect your base from all sides with anti-air, depending if it's in the circle. However, if it's not in the circle, the carpet bomb is the best one to describe this. The carpet bomb has a core and then the area of influence. The core being where the AA gun detects it. But if you move the core back, the bombs can still hit your AA gun. Why? Because the core wasn't in the area. The area of influence was here. I'll show you. The AA gun itself is the core of the area of influence. Now the AA gun could only hit the carpet bomb because it was the core of the area of influence. The carpet bomb could still hit them because the core wasn't anywhere near the AA gun, but the area of influence was near it. Which is something actually like the mortar cannon and the AA guns share alike also, because the mortar cannon and carpet bomb are both random, and the carpet bomb does a lot more damage, but they're both random and they do impact the battle. Kill by either getting you a monster kill or just one kill. It does impact the battle majorly. So being as though mortar cannons are extremely useful, and I would recommend you getting one of them before you actually get an AA gun, because if you get an AA gun first, typically you're going to be going against lower leveled opponents, and they're going to be assaulting you too. So that being said, I would rather get a mortar tower first, because chances are they don't have any good, attacks. Now AA guns, on the other hand, you would probably want these more than the mortars, because they can just help you, especially that paratrooper thing. I think it's in elite. This can kill a bunch of enemies with a direct shot, if possible, but a lot of the enemies have a lot of health and perks on when it comes to the higher rounds, or when you come to higher levels. So I would honestly, and this is my final judgment here, go with the AA gun before you go with the mortar gun or cannon. For one, the AA gun, you know it's what's defending. You know where it's gonna hit. You know all of this. You know that. It's written in stone. You know it. The mortar, you don't ever know where it is. And its upgrades consist of just adding more cans for you not to know where they're gonna hit. The AA gun increases where you know it's gonna hit, which is a very nice thing. Plus, if you have the command card for the AA gun, I would highly recommend putting that on and using AA guns more often. And I know you really, like, how do you mean using more often? You know, you don't go over the top with AA guns, but I mean, I'm just saying, I would honestly have more AA guns than mortar towers then. However, I am all for balancing it out. Always balance it out. I have 3 AA guns, 3 mortar cannons, and 6 of MG nest, 6 sniper towers. So, right now I'm trying to upgrade my sniper tower to the highest rank, I hope. I really hope this is the highest rank, because, I mean, that just looks awesome, and oh my god, I'm gonna go broke after this. Anyway, so honestly, this one really didn't, I couldn't really go into the stats of it, because these two only have like 2 stats. However, I do hope this helped you, and tomorrow we're gonna be, I'm not sure we're gonna do a unit review or an actual strategy, but I really hope you guys do come in tomorrow to watch this. And I hope I've helped you a little bit today. Also, look at the sneak peeks. They just released another one yesterday. So, please look. And the first sneak peek was the reset your base option. Gets all the rubble and stuff back, which is amazing. It puts everything back in your inventory so you can redo your base. Actually, truly redesign it too. And then the next one is one I'm really excited for. Is the perk card pack. You can now get card packs with perks in them. I mean, I'm extremely excited for that. So make sure you check this out. And I honestly think this is going to be a really big update. I don't think it's going to be the biggest. I think the biggest was the daily rations update, because it added an easier way for you to get gold and boosts and all that. So I don't think you can really beat that. However, I do think this is going to be a close second, because supply drops was really good and really big. However, being able to buy perks and, I mean, reset your base is just amazing, and that's probably not even, you know, that's probably like a couple of the features they're adding. So, anyways, when this update does come out, I will make a video hopefully trying to explain all the features. So, anyways, yeah, that's it. Guns of Aaron, over and out.